So we're back with Sallust, our good friend and historian from before the time of Christ, as Rome is making that grand transition from being the world's mightiest republic at the time to an empire. And as liberties are being exchanged for security. And in this story, which is a historical account, and there are some tremendous eyewitness and word-for-word speeches that we're going to be getting into soon. In this story, we see one of the ways that tyranny forces a shift, even among leadership, from embracing and valuing this eternal idea of liberty that is rooted so deeply in human nature, and exchanges liberty for safety. And it's amazing to watch this happen in Sallust and the Catiline Conspiracy, or as it's also called, the War with Catiline. So we are in the 4th paragraph, and I just want to read this, make a couple quick comments, and we'll get on to something else. Accordingly, when my mind found peace after many troubles and perils, and I had determined that I must pass what was left of my life aloof from public affairs, it was not my intention to waste any precious leisure in indolence and sloth, nor yet by turning to farming or the chase to lead a life devoted to slavish employments. On the contrary, I resolved to return to a cherished purpose from which ill-starred ambition had diverted me, and write a history of the Roman people, selecting such portions as seemed to me worthy of record. And I was confirmed in this resolution by the fact that my mind was free from hope and fear and partisanship. I shall therefore write briefly and as truthfully as possible of the conspiracy of Catiline, for I regard that event as worthy of special notice because of the extraordinary nature of the crime and of the danger arising from it. But before beginning my narrative, I must say a few words about the man's character. So here we see Sallust telling us that as he's getting older, he's wanting to return to some deep purpose. He's allowed himself to be taken away into politics, into the intrigues of state affairs and things like that. And he wants instead to do a noble thing by sharing a history of the Roman people. And this event that he's about to talk with us about is of extraordinary worth. It's almost unbelievable, except that we know historically that this thing happened. We know historically that this event that he's going to talk about was a major shifting in the politics and the mindset of those great characters that it contains. Characters like Cicero, who Augustine just has tremendous things to say about. And in fact, it was Augustine who reintroduced the world to Cicero. And we have great works by Cicero that if he were just some fictional character, you'd be like, well, okay, maybe this is something of value. But when you think about a man who actually lives through the events that Sallust is talking about, and then is writing the philosophy that he's writing with on friendship or on old age, tremendous works, tremendous value in those works. It takes on special meaning seeing him being involved in such a conspiracy. Also, we think of Cato the Younger, again, one of the most tremendous influences in American history. And to see him standing up to emerging tyranny in the Catiline Conspiracy is just amazing. And then also Julius Caesar. And to watch Julius Caesar's role in this conspiracy and to see just how professional and slick some politicians can be it really gives you pause when you think about what you're seeing in the world around you, when you look back in history and you see those who have been so very effective so much as to take the world's most powerful and prosperous republic and turn it into an empire. If you've seen the Star Wars, the trilogy of trilogies, in that first trilogy where Palpatine comes to power and the Republic falls into empire, that's what's happening. That's what's emerging in the Catiline Conspiracy. And you have a very Palpatine-like figure in Caesar. And we get to watch. And some of the back and forth between Caesar and Cato is really, it's so entertaining. I want to focus on one thing that he says here. He talks about that he was free. So one of the things that he thinks he can do a good job in writing a history of the Roman people is that he is free in his mind from hope. So he's not writing a hopeful history like maybe if I write this, things will get better. But he says, I'm free from hope and I'm free from fear. So he's not writing something hoping that things are going to get better. And he's not writing in a way that holds back any punches because he's afraid. He's not afraid. He's just going to tell it like it is with no hope that it gets better. There's nothing they can really do to him. He's one of these types, if they kill him, it's actually a relief for him. And then the last thing is, he says, free from hope and fear and partisanship. And that's why he can write freely and truthfully. Partisanship is when you believe something politically is true because your political party says it. Or you believe that something is evil because it belongs to the idea set of another political party. And one of the ugly truths is, we watch and we see these politicians pitted against each other today, and we think, man, they must really hate each other. And what we don't see when the cameras are off is that they're out at dinner with each other and their wives, and they're talking it up and having a great time, and then they're all going back somewhere to do stuff together, and they put on a show for the people to maintain the power, but then they can turn it off. And we see what Sallust is saying is, I'm free from partisanship. I'm not in this for party politics. I'm not in this for the political power that comes from playing the party politic game. And by convincing the people that I'm on their side and that these others are enemies no, he says, I'm not about all that. I just want to tell you the truth. And where Sallust leads us in this journey, he shows us how we can recognize emerging tyranny in our day, how we can recognize those players who are honest and authentic, and how we can hold accountable those who do not have our best interests at heart. And I just really am looking forward to sharing the rest of this with you. We're going to drip it out over time because it is so powerful, and I want to have time to talk about and give you an opportunity to ask questions. As always, leave a comment below. The best question, comment, smart remark left in the comments, I'll give you 100 Brazilian bonus points. You can use those however you see fit. I'd invite you to like, share, subscribe, all those things that people on all the other channels say to do. It really does help. And as I am pushing into this journey of bringing you education that you just can't get anywhere else, or that at least is not being offered freely anywhere else, I want to invite you to partner with me. Help this thing grow, and together we can educate ourselves, and we can become more educated about what is liberty, what is this tremendous gift that we have in the 21st century of the residual American dream, the residual American structure to protect the liberties of humans and to help us move forward and flourish. And what can we do when we see emerging tyranny? How can we combat it peacefully? And how can we take it head on when it comes into our homes and threatens to destroy us? So I hope that you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to digging in next week and sharing a lot of new content. Do hit the bell so that it shows up, they can let you know automatically. And until then, man, just people, embrace perfect liberty. Chase this thing that is so valuable, it's buried so deeply within us. Chase your freedom, chase your purpose, and until next time, enjoy an education worthy of a free people.